Okay, thank you, Lenny. Can we? Good. Okay, good morning. Thank you, Lanny. Thank you, Sai. Thank you to the association for hosting our first webinar. This is my first webinar as well. I'm the housing administrator with the City of Winnipeg, and here today just to present to the members the tips and tools for navigating City of Winnipeg housing permits and inspection systems, and to put all that information in one place so it's easily accessible and that you have everything you need for inspections and for permits online. Okay, my buttons don't seem to be working here. There we go. We have our speakers, Jill and Ian as long with myself, and remotely we have Gord and Gabriel who will assist with answering some questions at the end if needed. These buttons don't seem to be, there we go, okay. So I'd like to start by talking about permits online. Hopefully this is a platform that everybody is familiar with. It's our permits platform, and there is, if you're not familiar with it, there's a step-by-step user guide on the permits online page. And this is really the direction the City of Winnipeg is moving in expanding capacity for permits online. It allows you to apply and manage permits and see what's happening at different stages of the permit and inspections process. And so hopefully this is not new to everyone here, and if it is, I encourage you to get started. Yeah, there we go. Okay, the permits online allows you to register for account, or that's what you need to get started. You can apply for a variety of permits, which was recently expanded in the spring. If anyone had opportunity to look around and see what was further offered, and to view the status of your active permits and applications. You can submit documents for review, and you can also make payments online. You can add contractors, architects, tradespeople to a permit application. This allows those people to have access to notes and deficiencies, inspection schedules for your permits, but that is required through an email. Again, this information will be available after the presentation so that you'll be able to see which email boxes to use to make these requests. The expansion that was mentioned included, this was as of April, was rolled out, included new construction of decks, outdoor pools, hot tubs and spas, carports, and other structures larger than 10 meters squared. So as I'm sure you're well aware, and everyone's very busy in Winnipeg doing renos and outdoor projects. So this area of our business has been very busy this year. There's been a really good uptake, and again, it's an area we'll expand on. And as the city moves to upgrade our database this year, and we have an Amanda, we work from an Amanda system. The city will start this year upgrading that database, and that should expand capacity for permits online activities. And because it's a web-based system, we should see some improvements in user features and what we can offer online. So we're looking forward to that. That should start this fall. So when you go into permits online, it's sort of your one-stop shop where you can see all of your active permits, things you can apply for permits. You can view the status of plan reviews. You can look to see if something's been on hold. If a plan review is on hold pending further documentation, you can see what those documents are that are required to be submitted. And again, you can upload and submit these documents through the permits online system. As most of you know, we have two mechanisms for scheduling housing inspections. The preferred preferred method is to go online and use the housing inspection request form at this link, and we'll have a little bit more information in the presentation on that. But the other piece is the housing scheduling line, the phone line 5300, that we had planned some improvements to implement earlier this year, but due to the adjustments that we had to make because of the pandemic and planning and pivoting inspections to still conduct inspections during this challenging time, our resources sort of shifted away from the housing scheduling line, that implementation, because it was a big change. We wanted adequate time to test it. But some of the things that are going to be, that you will see the features with this new phone line that will be hopefully in the fall, coming very soon, is we'll have an IVR system that will allow you to make some selections. You can ask the system to call you back when you're next in line. You can ask to speak to a customer service agent. So that would be one of our senior support staff or clerical staff that can help you help answer questions about your permits or inspections. And it will also allow you to connect with a senior housing inspector. But again, improvements to the system so that wait times and hold times aren't so extensive. Ultimately, the plan for housing scheduling is with our new Amanda upgrade, that at some point in the future we'll look at self-scheduling online, but that's definitely one of the priorities of the division. Just have to get the system up and going and everything working first, but that's a direction we're going to move in very as soon as possible. And I will pass it along to Ian Robinson, Senior Inspector with the City of Winnipeg.
Hello, good morning, everyone. With housing inspection availability, we have a web address where you can go for reference to see our availability. This website is at winnipeg.ca/ppd/permits /housing_inspection_availability.stm. This inspection availability table is updated every 15 minutes, and it shows when the next earliest half an hour and hour inspections times are available. And this is respective to each area or district that we inspect, south, east, and north. The housing inspection request form, again, is the preferred method for builders scheduling an inspection through the online form. This is available at winnipeg.ca/housing inspection. Extended hours are only available to homeowners at this time. The AVI program, or alternate video inspection program, was launched basically as a response to COVID-19. This is an effort to ensure safety to our residents, contractors, and employees. Currently, only an AVI is permitted for interior occupied residential inspections, as we're not entering occupied dwellings at this time. All evening and Saturday time slots that were for extended hours are suspended until further notice. Through this program, the Housing Inspections branch is using informational drawings, photos, and a smartphone with Google Duo video conferencing to satisfy the inspection process for occupied residential inspections. So this program is open to both homeowners and contractors who are permit applicants for residential construction projects. And again, they must be occupied or partially occupied to qualify for this program. It's offered in both time slots, typical with our normal inspections. That's 9:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. for morning, and afternoon 12:30 to 4 o'clock. There are special requirements for scheduling this, for scheduling an AVI. Information must be provided if you are wanting to participate in this program, and all the documentation must be submitted through your permits online account. So this is a checklist that we've developed. It's available on our website, and it is part of the process and the requirements to enroll in our program. Quickly, it talks about installing Google Duo on a smartphone, submitting specific floor plans for the type of construction and scope of work that you're doing. It asks about an alternate video inspection declaration, which assumes responsibility for the video inspection. And it talks about some of the necessary tools to help us and assist us with the inspection. So each inspection request must be accompanied by a signed declaration by the person who will be on site. This is the document, and it must be submitted through Permits Online account. We ask that you prepare floor plans, AVI plans, and include information related to plumbing, electrical, and HVAC, in addition to the submitted building plans. We have some auto-generated email notifications that have been set up through our system to help inform permit applicants of different aspects of construction and give reminders. So an email defect list is sent out and allows for a 31-day comply by deadline, and we also send out a 2-week reminder. A 6-month work not started email is also auto-sent. This is sent with a 6-week and 2-week reminder. 3-year work not finished emails are also auto-generated. This is sent at a 12-week, 6-week, and 3-week interval. A 60-day demolition completion email is also sent at 4 weeks, 2 weeks, and 1 week as a reminder. And a final notice is sent out at the completion deadline date for all 4 work types with an administrative fee associated. We also have the ability to extend deadlines as requested. This can be done through our extension request form. There are 4 types of extension requests that the City of Winnipeg permits. One of those is the demo permit extension, the 31 defect extension, a 6-month permit start extension, and a 3-year permit expiry extension. Each request gets reviewed by senior staff, and there are special conditions for each extension request that are noted on this form. The DCP program, or Defect Certification Program, was set up in November of 2010, where the authority having jurisdiction, the City of Winnipeg, and a registered builder with the MHBA can self-certify deficiencies with a signed declaration in colored photos, or a video if required. In 2018, minor changes were made to include renovators as well as builders, and to hold the builder renovator responsible for said deficiencies who may not have a red seal journey person on their staff. Part of the requirements for licensed trades is where they self-certify, they must be licensed with the City of Winnipeg. If you wish to register with this program, you can send an email to ppd-housing@winnipeg.ca. If you are a registered DCP builder, our system will automatically scan the noted deficiencies on the permit file and determine whether or not DCP submission can be made or a mandatory inspection is required. As with any inspection, our inspector has the authority to determine whether or not the deficiencies warrant an actual reinspection. This SCP program was set up in 2018, where the authority having jurisdiction, the City of Winnipeg, and a registered builder with the MHBA can self-certify aged permits. These are any permits older than 3 years. And they may have not had a final inspection, or the final inspection has noted minor deficiencies. This is completed by signing an SCP certificate form and have the form authorized by a Commissioner of Oaths or a notary public. Each submission is reviewed by senior inspection staff and either approved or declined, in which the builder receives an email notification.
This is Jill Town from the City of Winnipeg now. I'm going to be speaking on the This is the statutory declaration form still, right?
Oh.
This is just a copy of the certificate that Ian was discussing. And now we've got another program, the Maintenance Certification Program. Also, we call them maintenance permits, post-construction permits. They're permits required for maintaining work that has been completed without required permits being obtained. This applies to building, plumbing, and electrical permits. The MCP, the Maintenance Certification Program, is set up directly for licensed trade permits only, plumbing and electrical. In essence, the licensed contractors are assuming full responsibility of the installations completed without first obtaining a permit. A homeowner has two options to handle the post-construction permits. The first one would be that the homeowner draws the permit themselves, and they must remove the wall and ceiling finish materials to allow for a proper inspection. The second option is the homeowner retains the services of a plumbing or electrical contractor who is licensed with the City of Winnipeg. The contractor would inspect the completed work, make any necessary corrections, and self-certify the installation. Once the documentation is signed and submitted, senior inspectors will review it for final approval. The permit then gets completed. Now, depending on the nature of it, there also may be some, that's covering plumbing and electrical. There may be some building permit issues that need to get inspected and perhaps even opened, depending on the nature of the work. The Foundation Repair Certification Program, the FCP. This program was introduced in late 2019 to address delays in permitting approval for open excavations and foundation repairs. There are contractors in Winnipeg that do mostly foundation repairs such as damp proofing and or external drain tile replacement that does not require permits to complete. However, once they excavate the foundation, they may come across structural repairs that need to be addressed immediately under a permit. Their professional engineer certified by the province of Manitoba would typically attend site, create drawings, and apply for a permit. The normal process would take up to 5 to 10 days with an open excavation. So under the FCP program, these permits would be fast-tracked, and the city would rely on the professional engineer to create signed and sealed drawings and self-certify the work once completed. This allows the contractor to move ahead quickly so the backfill can be replaced in a timely manner. Senior inspectors would review these certificates and drawings and approve or deny them. The FCP program should only be used for exterior repairs and not interior structural work that can be easily inspected. There's a copy of the certification form. It is generated by senior inspector, and it will come with the date and permit number on it. So it is not altered. The engineer signs and seals that form. We don't want them overwriting an old form for a different address or whatever. We want to make sure it's this form, so each time it's specifically generated for the project. There are foundation repairs that work in combination with the AVI program that Ian was talking about, where we do the piles, repairs were done, new footings, something done on the outside. This is covered by this FCP certification, but we do an AVI, an alternate video inspection of the interior, or if the home is unoccupied, we would do a site inspection of interior braces and support and joists. There's a schedule for, this is the fee schedule for housing permits. So there are a number of fees that are automatically generated by the computer. So our Amanda program. So $162 is a failure to correct the defects within 30 days. $162 is work not ready at the time of a scheduled inspection, or more than 10 defects identified during an inspection. A same-day cancellation is $162. Failure to confirm that work has started is $54. And just to clarify, often that is just a phone call or an email that is required. We just need some communication from you saying, yep, we've started. Failure to close a permit within 3 years is a $250 fee. The above fees may be assessed if the permits were obtained after June 1st, 2016. If the permit was obtained prior to this date, most likely there will be no charge. When we talked about the MCP program, the Maintenance Certification Program, the additional cost to that one, if you've done work without first obtaining the proper permit, is a $375 fee. Once you've paid the fee, there is a fee waiver committee. And there's the form. This is the picture on the screen now is just information on the fee waiver committee and how you apply, and a link. So one of the things you must do, if up to a maximum of $5,000, is pay the fee first if you want to apply for a waiver. So you pay the fee before submitting an application for the fee or penalty review, as applications will not be considered unless the applicable fees have been paid. If the fees are over $5,000 or owed, the fee waiver committee will inform you once a decision has been reached regarding payment of the balance or waiving the fees. So you complete the application and submit it to the secretary of the fee waiver committee by mail or email. And all that information is outlined on the fee waiver application form. And there's a link on our website for that. The fee waiver committee will consider the application at the next meeting, and the meetings occur bi-weekly. And applicants will be notified of the fee waiver committee's decision in writing within 1 month. The fee review decision form will be sent to the applicant by mail or email via the same method of communication used by the applicant originally. This is from our website. It's just some frequently asked questions from the fee waiver committee. And how do I apply for the monetary penalty fee to be waived? Those applications are available on our website. Should my application be accepted, when and how will I be reimbursed? And within 4 weeks from the date of notification. Should my application be denied, what options do I have? You can appeal those, and that information, again, is on our website. Can the fee waiver committee waive impact fees? And that's not part of what the fee waiver committee does. Those kinds of applications would be directed to 311. And can the fee waiver committee waive municipal bylaw enforcement fees and or provincial offenses? No, that's not within our authority. And all this information, the frequently asked questions, are on our website. And now, are we closing? This is the end of it. Marcia, you were to take over, but I can also say thank you.
Yeah,
so,
thank you.
We'll see what the questions are generated, but you can certainly if you have further inquiries, make ppd-housing@winnipeg.ca or Marcia, who is our administrator, at mpfeiffer@winnipeg.ca.
Thank you, Ian and Jill. Yeah. Thank you for that. That concludes our formal presentation. We can open it up to some questions now as time permits. And again, prefer to answer questions that'll be that are more general in nature so that everyone can hear the response. Any specific questions about a specific property or incident or inspection should be directed to me directly for a response.
Thank you very much, Marcia. It looks like we have a couple questions through chat. So do you know how many City of Winnipeg inspectors are doing these AVI inspections?
I believe right now we have 3. We have 3 dedicated inspectors that are screening and conducting the virtual inspections. And that could expand. It depends on, a lot depends on what's happening with public health recommendations from the province and how things are playing out over the next few months. But I think this is a program that will be here to stay, and we'll look to refine and enhance and make best use of that platform.
And when did the AVI program start?
The AVI program, the virtual inspection program, started in around the end of April this year, and it really was in response. It was something that I think staff had envisioned us doing eventually, but with the pandemic and the restrictions, and with people not being comfortable with inspectors entering homes, occupied homes, that was the one service area that was affected. So the virtual inspection program was a way to still facilitate those inspections and still keep staff safe and still keep the public safe and move forward with that. So to date, we've done over 1,000 of those inspections. So we like to think that it had a significant impact on our business and allowed us service continuity at a time where service was disrupted for many sectors.
Can we apply for online permits for renovations?
I don't believe so. I think that that's still to be expanded to that area. The list that was provided earlier in the presentation encompasses what's currently available. But again, the direction is to move into expanding online capabilities, especially with the permit office being limited public access at the moment. But with the upgrade of our Amanda system to a web-based system, we anticipate significant increases in capacity to do business online, and we'll look to expand permits online.
If a renovated home is unoccupied, do we get in-person inspections for that?
Yeah, that can be, absolutely. If there's, right now the limitation is just for occupied residences where we have to either don PPE to do emergency, and we will still continue to provide that service, but only in emergency or urgent situations such as occupied properties that have had power outages. So, so if it's unoccupied, that's no problem. We still have guidelines, as everyone does, in place for maintaining physical distancing, wearing masks, using hand sanitizer, not shaking hands, those kinds of things that our staff will be following.
Okay, thank you very much, Marcia. Any other questions through, not so much through chat? I think everybody would have had the chance to do that, but if anybody would like to ask a question over their microphone? Okay, not seeing anybody unmute their line or indicate in chat that they'd like to ask a question. So last call for questions. If you do want to ask one, please use the chat function. Just a reminder, we will be posting the PowerPoint presentation for you on our website. We'll be providing the link to that through the e-newsletter. As well, we have recorded today's meeting, and so we'll be posting that on our YouTube page, and we'll be providing that link to everyone as well. Will they be expanding the number of inspectors to do these AVI inspections?
Yeah, that's a good question, and it depends on what the future holds for the current situation. I think there's some preference of on-site inspections for certain builds, and definitely the virtual inspections is desirable in some circumstances. So we'll definitely assess how it's been going for the last few months. We've had some great feedback from folks that really value that service. So we'll look to how we can use it going forward in a way that's efficient, that makes it easy for people to access, but also facilitates inspections in a way that moves us forward and increases capacity. Oh, so we have Gabriel responding for online permits, but definitely if you haven't familiarized yourself and used permits online, I encourage you to do so, because this is the direction that we're moving in, is providing better, more robust online services. And absolutely, if you have questions, there's helplines to reach out to, and emails and phone numbers that you can contact. Our permits office recently changed over to an IVR system, so a phone option system where you can connect with different people in the permits office. So if you don't have that number, it's 204-986-5140, and it allows you to go through the menu and select options to speak with someone, like with a zoning field officer, to speak with a permit technician, to speak with an inspector. And you have this menu of options, so it's intended to connect you quicker to the people you need to talk to about permits.
Great. We will, when we send out the PowerPoint, we'll make sure that we also provide that number to you as well. Any other questions?
Emily asks, is there a way to see what has just been submitted through permits online? I believe so, and I'm not, and maybe Gabriel, if you're there to respond in the chat. Once you apply for a permit and it's been entered into the system, I think that's where you're able to sort of monitor what's happening with that permit, if it's being reviewed. If there is questions or additional documentation required, you'll have a message, a hyperlink on that permits online account where you can click on and see what the comments from the staff person are. They might require some clarification on something on plans, or they might require additional documentation, specific to engineered products or stamps. So you should be able to see quite a bit. Again, if you don't, you can reach out to us if you have more questions. Connect with us directly or connect with the permit office directly. And is there a way to see, Emily asked, is there a way to see the documents that you have submitted? Good question. Having not used it myself, I would think so, but let's see if Gabriel's still there. He can respond to that question in the chat.
Gabriel, if you want to unmute your microphone, you can speak.
Okay, because I was just, thank you. This is Gabriel. Yes, so the first question, you can see what you've submitted. So the permit you've actually submitted, it's called active permits. This is after you've registered and logged in and submitted your permit. Then you see a section to the left that says active permits, and that will show you the details of your permit. Now, for the documents that you've submitted, at this moment, no, you won't be able to see the actual documents you've submitted, but you can always, reach out to the permits department, and somebody will, reply to you and let you know any questions you might have, just in case, if you think you haven't submitted enough documents. And if you haven't anyway, somebody will definitely get back to you. That I'm sure is the process at the moment.
We just had Curtis just comment through the chat that seems to be a pain point in terms of the system, where if there's no way to see the documents, it looks like you're being asked to resubmit documents numerous times. That being able to view the documents might be a way to alleviate that that pain point.
Exactly. Yeah, that's, you know, I'll take that back. But yes, we do understand that, that this is happening, and it's something that we already have in the works to try to address somewhere close in the future, or as Marcia has said, we are definitely upgrading our systems starting this year, and that is one of the top things that will definitely be implemented.
Thank you for that feedback, Curtis.
Any other questions? Okay. Thank you everyone for joining us this morning. Thank you, Marcia, Ian, Jill, for presenting. We'll end the meeting now. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, and we'll, like I said, you'll be getting the PowerPoint, and the recording of the meeting will also be available. So all the best. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.